Hi guys, I hope you're all okay. I'm doing pretty good. Last week I was a little bit bored, so I was kind of imagining that I was working for a TV company and they needed a bit of a backing track, sort of 2 minutes to 2 minutes 30 in length. So I just thought it'd be interesting to see how long it would actually take me to do that. So I kind of sat down with an empty brain, and it took me about 5 hours to sort of put it all together, and I had a pretty good, enjoyable time doing it. Not quite sure whether I'd want to do that all the time. I do quite enjoy just doing my own stuff as and when I do it. But if you want to listen to the track, I'm going to play it now, and then afterwards I talk a little bit about how I did, what I did. It's nothing phenomenal, but you might enjoy it. So stay around after the track and have a listen to me blab on about what I did. Okay, a EQ'd track is, like I say, traditionally 2 minutes to 2 minutes 30 in length. I've got a few friends who actually do these sort of professionally for a living. And a EQ'd track could be traditionally used for a film that's being made. You know, there's lots of independent films being made at the moment that, you know, your Amazon Films, your Netflix, blah blah blah. There's probably about a million other filmmakers out there. They all need original music. The process of creating tracks is quite an enjoyable one. I've always enjoyed it. I'm more of a sort of musician. And I enjoy the production aspects and the playing around and the different instruments, etc. So it's good fun, I think. So the challenge I set myself the other day was one to just see how long it would take me to start from scratch with no ideas, essentially a dead brain, and then see how long it would take me to come up with something that I could possibly send to somebody with no fear of embarrassment. Traditionally, these kind of ideas that you would send off to people, they would be as part of a brief. So I believe they'd say something like, you know, we really like the music of X, their track, something like that. So it might be a driven guitar kind of track. So you then reproduce that. It's the kind of thing that happens with like the X Factor things, like somebody has a hit and then lots of songwriters around the world all try and write songs that sound like that to capitalise on the person's success of having the hit. Or so, you know, a guitar driven track, or if they want to do a romantic movie, it might be something like a little bit of funky waka 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 doo doo electric piano kind of thing. You know, so basically it's brief based. So I'm going to create a selection of tracks, Now the first one I did the other day was the one that we've just heard, and I'm just going to run through a couple of little things about it, see if anybody's actually got this, is still watching in this video. I hope you can hear this okay. So the track is obviously sort of quite a driven sort of track. And then obviously at the beginning there I've got some nice sort of Telecaster sort of sound. Oops. I'm using my Fender American Deluxe. I've also got a couple of other Strats from Doug Wilkes and another one over here, but this one is just, the intonation's great and it just sounds good. So I just like this one for recording. So I've got some Telecaster sounds in there. And for that particular sound, I'm using, as per usual, Scuffin VST, which is my proven sort of computer-based amp modeler. So this model is called the Custom 57. Obviously I'm breaking up a little bit. I've got the Alnico Blue and the classic ceramic speaker on this, but also on the actual original track where I'm recording the guitar, I'm kind of saturating it a little bit with what's it called? I forgot what it's called, the NLS by Waves, and then I've got a compressor on the go here, which is it's a FET 76, so it's kind of like a version of, it's Altura's version of 1176, I believe. Ideally being that will compress it quickly, like a, so any kind of like peaks you get. It'll catch them just as, you know, it's a very quick compressor, so it just catches the peaks. And then I've got a, what have I got here? Oh yeah, I've got a bit of a soft tube. This is Abbey Road's RS127 rack. It kind of like adds a little bit. You can put you can boost the EQ on set points across the EQ spectrum. I forget what they are because it's just blanked out at the moment. I find that some of the soft tube stuff, although I've got a powerful computer, it just kind of like stops working stops working visually when the computer's under load. But this is, I think I've got like about 10k. It's like sheen on top of the guitar. You can't hear it properly because I'm just recording the audio over here now. But anyway, so that's like the basic Telecaster sound is that. And then the chords in it are quite simple. We've got just E and then A, middle bit, which is I think the bit you can hear here, 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 there. I'm playing this. Well, those chords are just B, open E, and then I'm playing, instead of C sharp minor, I'm playing like that's E major with a C sharp root. So what would that be? And then A, which is like is that sus 4, sus 2, and then go to F sharp over A. Classic stuff, but great for ringing out chords. And then as I progress through the track, we've got this little bit here. Because the idea being that you kind of build the track every sort of 8 bars or so, just add a new element or something, like maybe change the drum pattern. And on this particular track, I've used a MIDI application that I like to use normally for my demos. But and I do have drummer friends who can do this sort of stuff as well. But whether they want to do it for free, you don't forget there's no money in this at all until you get hired. So I could spend the next 10 years not earning a penny, but having a great time, not going insane, because it's something to do. But you know, costs, you want to keep the costs down to as low as possible. So I've got this bit here, which is like sort of a riff. Got that bit going through there, through this section, and for that actual sound, same telly sound, except I'll give it a little bit more, pushing the amp, the simulator amp sim a bit more, with an extra bit of compression, compressor that I really like, which is the Waves. I think is it Chris Lord Algie? It's his version. Well, whatever. CLA 2A. It's really good at sort of squashing. So it sounds a bit. Sounds a bit much by itself, but when it's in the mix, it sounds like a nice, clean, picky Telecaster, because you need to get that attack. Yeah, so that's that. I'll just move on to another guitar. Hang on one second. One of the other sounds that I used is a sort of leady type sound, which can be found here if you listen to this. Or this bit. So you've got something like this. So that's kind of a more driven sound, and I've had to sort of, the intonation's a bit funny on this guitar. This is a Douglas Wilkes Telecaster, sort of Les Paul, mahogany body. You've seen it on other videos of mine, unless you haven't seen the video, of course. But I love this guitar, it's great, but the intonation needs doing. So, for example, if I'm playing down here, when I was doing the bits down there, I have to tune to the neck. So the last bits I did with these bits, those bits. Oops. So you got those sort of dirty, sort of little lead lines, which I quite enjoyed doing. A little bit sort of anthemic feel to them. And then the actual rhythm part, which I did, which sounds like this. Let's just solo it. Okay, those parts there were, I think it was here. Oops. Again, having to tune to the fret. Just playing that kind of stuff. Have a listen. I was doing something like that. Sounds a bit weak, me playing it here, because I've not got the sound set up right, but in reality it's so that's the Doug Wilkes. Obviously, you know, towards the end I kind of build up the track, and it goes quite sort of powerful. As you heard already. also played a bit of bass on this, so let's just, well, no, we don't need to do the bass, do we? Bass is quite simple. You can obviously hear it. Oh, no, I'll tell you about the Telecaster guitar first of all. This Telecaster style guitar. I need to edit that bit, don't I? So I've got, like, again, a couple of compressors. I've got the 1176, then the LA2A thing, and then I've got the Abbey Road stuff. No, I haven't. I've just got the 1176 because I don't want this too bright. And then in my group track for this particular sound, I'm using Scuff'em again, and it's called the Wayfarer. I think it's sort of a, I don't know, it's maybe, it looks like it's sort of a bit of a boogie type sort of amp. I'm not quite sure what it's based on, but and I'm using sort of a classic ceramic and an Alnico blue, splitting the sort of the two channels left and right. So if anybody's interested in that, I might just post a little picture up of that. Okay, let's move on to synthesizers. Okay, I love, who doesn't like synths? I've got a small selection of software synths, and for this track, I love sort of stringy, sort of old synth sounds. Work well with slightly distorted guitars. So with this one here, what did I do? Oh yeah, so I've got I was doing a playing that kind of sound. Oops. Which is this bit. Then I've got another line, because I've got a particular guitar part. That melody is carried on by the guitar, so I thought I wanted to underline it with the synth carrying on, a bit of a break, let another guitar part take the limelight as such, focus. I'm doing the other part was obviously, oops, down here, the other part was higher sort of key. What was it? In the latter half of the track, it's slightly different melody. Got that B in there. Now this sound I'm using here is in fact a Jupiter 8 version by Alturia, which I quite like. It's actually the dirty lead sort of preset, which I've used before on other tracks. I really like it. But like I say, I'm no synth expert, but I do like the sound of a dirty, analogy, Juno 80 sort of sound. You know, who doesn't? Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I'll see you sort of reasonably soon for my second video in my little, I don't know what I'm going to call it,